click on the subscribe button and remember to press the bell icon for regular notifications from our digital blogger. Hello friends, welcome to our digital blogger. Today we are going to talk about a very confusing topic, POA, power of attorney. Multiple questions are going to be addressed in this video. What is POA to start with? Is it mandatory to sign a POA? Can I open a Demat account without signing a POA in the first place? Can my broker sell the shares by using powers mentioned in POA? Why is it required? When it is required? How much it is required? And a lot of other questions are going to be addressed. Let's get started. So first things first, what is POA? Power of attorney. Basically, it's a legal document that gives legal authority to some other person, to some other business, to some other company to operate your account as per the instructions mentioned in that document in the first place. So anything that is outside POA is not legal in nature. So make sure that whatever you sign is read through. Whatever is covered in that POA is actually gonna be taken care by any third party. Now within POA there are two types. There is a specific POA and then there is a generic POA. Now specific POA or a limited POA clearly states that a single power or a limited range of powers that the person to whom POA is given can neutralize or exercise on your behalf. Now if you decide to give POA to a stockbroker for your convenience in trade settlements, make sure that you give only for a specific POA, and that too limiting the usage of POA for transfer of securities for margin purposes or for settlement of trades done through a recognized stock exchange. Generic POA on the other hand is gonna be a whole range of powers given to the stockbroker or the third party wherein they can exercise anything on your behalf. We will talk about those specifics, but it's a very dangerous sort of a thing. Then we have this $1 million question. Is POA mandatory? Well, the answer to this is very surprising, but no. You don't really have to sign POA if you need to open a Demat account. There are specific situations for which POA is mandatory, and even in those situations you need to sign the specific POA and not a generic one. Well, the situations where you do not need the POA are, well, if you want to trade at intraday level, if you want to trade in future options, if you are trading in derivatives in other words. In other words, we are saying that as long as you are not putting your stocks in your Demat account, in those cases POA is not mandatory. Going further from there, now you have bought some shares onto your Demat account for long-term investments. Now the point here is, when you're gonna sell those shares, that is the situation where POA is gonna be mandatory, because your stockbroker is going to sell those shares on your behalf. Now this is where the stockbroker comes into picture. Putting those stocks into the Demat account is not a problem again. Till that point in time there is no POA requirement. But once you reach that state that you are gonna sell those stocks, be it a delivery level of 1 day trading or it could be 10 years, this is where POA becomes mandatory. Your stockbroker needs to have the right to sell those stocks on your behalf from your Demat account. So that is where POA is mandatory. Other than that, if you're gonna use margin trading, and in those cases as well, POA is gonna be required. Now these are the situations where POA is mandatory. Other than that, you don't really need to sign the POA statement at all. Now some people might say, well, this is rubbish. My stockbroker executive, and I have opened with 5 stockbrokers, all of them say the same thing. POA is a mandatory document. Well, honestly, showing you the light of the day is POA is not a mandatory document. They are just goofing it up. If you go with the SEBI guidelines, they have clearly mentioned, even the specific exchanges like NSE or BSE say that it's not mandatory. Even on that document for that matter, it is written it's a voluntary document. If you want, go ahead and sign it. We are not saying you to do that. Now that is the point you have to take care. You tell those specific conditions. If you are an intraday trader, forget about PA in the first place completely. You don't need to sign the POA again. Now Even if we go ahead and talk about delivery trading, if you can take the pain of offline trading, not online but offline trading, if you're somebody who wants to be completely risk free, that boy, I want 100% security on my account, I'm not giving anything to my stockbroker or any kind of power, well, even that is open, that is also possible. But in those cases, whenever you're gonna sell those shares from your demat account, you have to send a signed DIS document slip rather to those the instruction slip to your stockbroker with the details. This is where you can just connect your offline trading mechanism and use those DIS slips and completely forget about POA even in that particular type of trading. So all kinds of options there are there. We are not recommending you to do that because it's gonna be very cumbersome on your front, because whenever you're gonna sell those shares, every time couriering or dispatching or sending those DIS slips to your stockbroker can be a little crazy. So that is why it's not recommended, but there is that way, and that is why we wanted to mention you that. Now whenever you sign, whose favor POA must be to? Now it must always be towards the stockbroker, the company that is registered as a DP with the exchange and with the regulatory body. It should not be an individual. If you're working with a local stockbroker or a sub broker or a franchise or an employee, do not sign POA on with them. Don't sign as them as a third party. They cannot be. They can use them those documents illegally and in a very negative way. But make sure that the favor of the entity must be the company name, the stockbroker name. Then what is the duration POA must be signed? Now these are very specific questions, but people might have these concerns one way or the other down the line. So the POAs must be of limited duration. It should not be open-ended. Some stockbroker executives might tell you that I want an open-ended infinite period sort of a POA. Well, it must always be limited to a specific duration, 1 year, 2 year. You can always renew the POA if you want, but revocation can be a little full of hassles. So that's why it always must be of a specific duration. Now let's talk about some of the do's and some of the don'ts that you must be aware of. So there are specific set of lists we have. Make sure that you understand what they mean. So let's quickly talk about the do's first. Now only give the specific POA that is highlighted earlier in this video. Make sure that there is a specific duration for which you are signing the POA with the stockbroker. There is always an existence of revocation clause. You can revoke the POA at any given point in time. It's your discretion, but make sure that within the POA document there is a clause that talks about revocation. If it's not there, talk to the executive, get it aligned. Then make sure you communicate that you want regular level contract notes, regular statement of accounts, transaction statements, so that you are aware of whatever transactions are happening with your specific accounts with the stockbroker. Then there are some don'ts. Now with don'ts, there are specific authorizations that you should not be carrying. First up, that you should not be allowing your stockbroker to be opening or closing account on your behalf. So that discretion, that decision rather, must always lie with you when you want to open, when you want to close your specific accounts. Then the off-market transactions must not be allowed. There must not be any sort of authorization for the stockbroker that they can do it on your behalf. Yes, the ones that have margin involved, obviously there is money involved for the stockbroker on those fronts. Yes, on those areas POA is allowed. Then order placement or investment decisions for your money, for your shares, should not be done by the stockbroker. You should not be signing on that aspect. So if you want to sell something, it's your take, it's your decision. It can be done through a call, it can be done through a terminal software or a mobile trading application, but at the end of the day, you are the one who's calling the shots there. It's your money, right? So they can't do that. So there must not be any authorization on these areas too. Then any sort of fund transfers or share transfers from and to your account should not be allowed from your stockbroker. And then let's talk about some things that you need to consider, specifically 4 things that needs to be considered while you're using the POA thing. Now, get the copy of all the documents, including the POA documents, when you're opening the accounts, be it the account opening form, be it the POA statement. Get the copy from your stockbroker, and this is sort of required in a sense, because SEBI tells the stockbroker that the client that you're opening your account for must be getting the copies. So you need to realize this and get those copies from the stockbroker. Then keep a close eye on the Demat bank and trading account statements on a regular basis. It really depends on the kind of frequency you maintain of your trading. It can be weekly, it can be done on a monthly level, but spending some time on these statements can keep you away from lots of hassles later. Then in case you have a concern, you think that there is a discrepancy, you can write an email. Make sure the first sort of communication should be done in a written format. You can call them later. Then you can reach out to the compliance officer or the stockbroker if the support doesn't really help. And finally, you always have the option of going to the regulatory body and filing your complaint against the stockbroker. We hope that this does not really turn out that way, but this is an area that you can watch out for. In case you need support on this specific concern, you can check out this link here. We will be putting out this link in the description of the video, and you can just fill in specific details where you have filled up, what's your concern, or we'll help you with the specific details of the compliance officer. You can get in touch with them, and if that does not work, even then we'll tell you how do you lodge your complaint against the stockbroker at the regulatory body level. And then this final question here: can a stockbroker sell my shares? Well, the answer to that is yes, but it can be done only in a specific situation wherein there is a shortfall in the margin or there is a failure of payment from your end. Only in those situations the POA account holder, which is the stockbroker in this case, can exercise his authority under POA to the limited extent of recovering the dues from you. So the stockbroker will be in a position to dispose of securities to the extent of money, or to the extent of recovery of the money rather, due from you, and that is the limit of it. Anything done beyond that or apart from that is gonna be illegal in nature. Now that's it for this particular topic here. In case you want us to suggest a stockbroker that matches with your requirements, that is safe and secure on a consistent basis, has a better track record than the others, we can help you out with that. Check out this link here, digitalblogger.com/free stockbroker suggestion. We'll put out this link again in the description of the video. Put in your details, specify your requirements, and we will help you out with that stockbroker. That's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. We'd really appreciate if you can go ahead and like this video, share this video if you want to do that, and at the same time subscribe to our channel, Digital Blogger, where we talk about stockbroking industry at a various level scale. Thank you so much again. Bye bye.